You're welcome. Great session. Well, we're taking you guys on a journey to becoming web developers in the next couple of weeks. With more participation and cooperation as we go fast with this. All right. To start with, my name is Sunday Precious, and I'm a web developer, and I'll be one of your instructor for this tour, which will also be taking you another part of the training. So basically, what we're going to be doing today, I'm going to be showing you guys what it means to develop a website, the process required, and all you need to know to build a website in the next couple of days. Um, Now, quickly, let me show us something. Just a minute. All right. So basically, now I believe you have been hearing the word website, what a website is. You visit for most of you visit websites to do one or two things. Zoom itself, it's a website, though they have a web application, and some of you buy some stuff online on some certain websites. Take for example, uh, Jumia for those who buy most of the stuff in on Nigeria platforms, and even the recent purchase on Temu that some persons made was on a website, and those are e-commerce websites, for example. So those are examples of basic website that you can build. And as a web developer, web design and development is one high demand because the world is becoming more technology inclined, and from the local retail store, well, of Mama Emeka selling by the streets to having their stores for their office, for their organization online. So for you to easily access them, you can just search their name on the search engine, and then you can easily get them online. So web design and development is very, very important, and is one skill that is in high demand in our time today. One skill that one skill that's in high demand, very high demand, because every every brand today and every organization would want to have their website, want to have their company visible on the world wide web, so that they can be accessible from anywhere in the world. They can be accessible from anywhere in the world. So a website, from the name website, um I'm going to be stopping to ask questions. Welcome, Emmanuel, Comfy, and I'm going to be asking questions to ensure you guys are following. So, starting out, from the name website, breaking the name down, is composed of, it was coming from two different words, web and site. So the site there signifies a particular location, and then the web there is, it signifies the world wide web. So it's telling you a location on the world wide web, which is commonly known to the common man as the internet. So a site, so take for example, now let me say an example of a website. Uh if I want to know, can you see my screen? You can unmute your mic and speak. Can you see my screen? If you can see my screen, let me know. All right. Thank you, Emmanuel. You can see my screen. Uh, all right. So let me see an example of a website now. We're going to be looking at this website today. Let me type in the. So let me know what you see on my screen. Sorry. Let me know what you see on my screen. Emmanuel, let me know what you see. All right, are we together? Let me know. Okay, the live website. Okay, so what exactly are you seeing on the website? Anything at all? Anything at all? What can you identify on the website? What can you identify on the website?
Okay, I could see some graphics
Okay, okay. Any
and
text?
word,
Okay, what does it say?
smarter software, smoother operations.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, as I know, this may look a bit quite complex, but trust me, it is not. As a matter of fact, this website is still working on it, but I was able to come up with this in less than 24 hours. Trust me, you're going to learn how to do this as fast as possible. And website design today, people charge a lot of money just to design one website. I affiliated with a lot of health organizations recently, and I discovered that even the health organization themselves have been becoming technology inclined. So you see, most of the websites, most of the hospitals rather, they are having websites that you can easily, visit, book consultations, and each of those websites, each of their doctors are registered on the website. As a patient, you registered on those websites, and there are people, those developers there to manage the website for them, and they pay huge amount of money just to get these websites done. Most of the range of this money ranges from around 500,000 to over a million naira just to get a website done. And you can also get a lot of jobs from foreign clients that won't pay more because they do pay in dollars or in euros, depending on the country you're working with them from. So this is just a simple website. Let me show you what it looks like. Like I said, I'm still working on it, but I started this today and I was able to come up with everything you see here from the whole back end and front end and everything at all. So yeah, this is it. This is the home page of the website. So one of the first step of web design is is your URL. I mean, I've been seeing that word a lot. URL, URL, URL. Click on this URL. URL majorly stands for unique resource location. It is basically where you can find a particular site on the World Wide Web. So every website on the World Wide Web can be found in a particular place on the World Wide Web. And that is why when you click on a particular URL, um, a particular uniform resource locator, it takes you to uniquely a particular website. So you don't click on a URL today and then click on it tomorrow, it's taking you to a different website entirely. No, it's taking you to the same website because that is unique to that website. So the first thing about website design is URL. For example, if you can see my mouse, I'm currently highlighting on the URL of this particular website. It is oyodg.com.ng. That is the URL, the Uniform Resource Locator. Like I said, URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator. So that is the URL of the website. So anytime you type this URL in any browser, it's going to pop up this website for you. It's going to pop up this website. So the first step in building a website is to get a uniform resource address such that anybody that clicks on that particular URL would be able to locate the website you built. That's the first step. In a common language, what this is known as is the domain name. It's just like saying you want to go to a particular place. So the best thing to do to you to identify that place is to get the name of that particular location. To get the name of that location. So take for example, I'm going to buy something in a particular shop. So let's say the name of the shop is maybe popular shop right that we do know. So once I get to around that location, the easiest way for me to find is to know the name of the location I'm going to. So in this case, the first thing to do so that your website can be easily found on the World Wide Web is to get a name for it, so that people can search that name and they will be able to get to your website. They can be able to get to your website. So the first step is to purchase a domain name. Domain names are they are actually being purchased. I'm going to show us how we can do that before the end of this class, and you should be able to purchase your domain name. So domain name is actually the easy access to any website. Once you want to go to a website, get the domain name, search for it in the browser, and then you are there at that particular domain name. Your browser is like the vehicle that takes you to that particular location on the World Wide Web. So example of such browsers are Firefox, Google search engine, and the rest of them. So uh, so the first step, like I said, is getting your domain name. The domain name is what you need to be able to locate any website in the World Wide Web. Now, these websites now, they are not just hanging spiritually, like some people will say, hanging in the World Wide Web without any particular foundation. So, like your normal site, so I talked about you want to go to ShopRite, for example. If you don't know where you are going to, if you don't know that way you want to go to ShopRite, there's no way you can actually get there. And that's why the first thing, like I said, is getting to know the name of of where you want to go to, or your destination, which is your domain name. Now, before you're able to now, okay, before you even talk about getting a domain name, which is the name of the place or the environment or the building that your office or your store is located, you first have to buy land where you have to build, or you have to rent a store where you actually do sell. Now, this land and store is, in the case of website design, is what is known as your hosting service. It's like renting a particular space where your office will be. So after renting the space, you now call the space, take for example boss.com dot or boss.com or boss.org. So you have to first buy the space, then you name the space whatever you want to name it. So anybody that want to come to that space to see what you have displayed there will first have to know what is the name of the space. But then the World Wide Web is not owned by us individuals, for example. So we can't just, you know, go and start building anything on the World Wide Web. We have to first pay or buy a particular space where our website will be posted. So like I said, the space there is what is known as the hosting service. The hosting service, that is what your website is, where your website is going to be staying on the World Wide Web. For example, I'm going to let me take us to okay, let me take us here. An example of now this space that I talked about, and this domain name that you have to buy. How do we now get it? We have to buy space. We have to do we go to the World Wide Web ourselves to go and buy them? Now the thing is we can't go there. So but there are companies that offer these services. What they do, what they exist to do is to rent out hosting space and rent out domain name service registration, rather help you carry out domain name registration. So you don't have to bother about, okay, what do I need to do to register my domain name, what, requirement do I need to meet and all that. As long as you have a name that you want to register, all you have to do is purchase a space, a hosting space, and then buy a domain name and attach it to that space. So it's just like buying a land property and then naming your land. So you can try to leave it and for bush to follow. If people click on your domain name, they'll only see whatever you have left there. If you have built a website there, you built a web application there, when they click on that domain name, that's what they're going to see. So an example of companies we call them hosting companies that offer the service of domain name registration and hosting service. Um, let me go to one of them for example. Okay, now I just typed on something. If you can see my mouse, it's saying qservers.ng where I just highlighted. Now this qservers.ng is a domain name for a particular space that have been bought by whoever owns this organization or this website. So that is the domain name. And for me to go to their website, I just have to type their domain name. So that's how it works. So now this is a website. This is a hosting company, for example. So uh, let me go to one of their services that they do offer. If you look at, they have the home, the hosting, domain name, SSL, affiliate support. I'm going to explain what SSL means in a bit. So if you go to under hosting, we have website hosting, WordPress hosting, cloud servers hosting. Those are the services that they offer in their website. Now, for example, let me go down. If I want to register a domain name now, all I have to do is come down to their search, domain search, and search whether my domain name is available. What I mean by that is you could have a name that you want to register. Say, for example, I came up and I said, okay, my name of my, or I want to register my company or my business. I want to put their office on the World Wide Web. Or a client comes to meet you and they'll be like, I have this website I want to build, and the name of my organization is Q Servers, and I want the domain name to be qservers.ng, for example. If you search for qservers.ng, it will not be available because why? Somebody else already named their domain name that particular name on the World Wide Web. So we cannot have two websites having the same particular domain name and URL. Now, let me search for a particular domain name. Let's see if it comes up. Okay, let me search for Q servers. Q servers. Q servers dot ng. Okay, search. Let's see the result it gives us. Now, if you look, now at this point, I want to know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Please let me know. You can type, you can unmute yourself. Let me know if you're following. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, thank you very much, Namdi. All right, so now what they are saying here is, sorry, qservers.com is already taken. If you look at this particular yellow box hosting this search bar, you will see that it's divided into three columns. The first column carrying the Q servers name, the second is just .com, and the third one is saying search button. This .com here is popularly known as the extension, and it carries a bit of an information about a particular website. The major information it carries is telling you the kind of website that you are going to or you want to visit. So majorly .com stands for communication. So there are some websites that are just on the World Wide Web for them to be able to reach out and for people to be able to reach out and communicate with them. There are those that, for example, now I click on this, it shows me, it gave me a lot of options. So I want you to see this. We are having .com at the top part, we are having .ng, we are having .net, .org, .info, .tv, .biz, .com.ng, .net.ng. Now, for example, the first one .com, if I'm going to qservers.com, it just trying to tell us, okay, this our website is majorly about communication, but it's not restricted to just communication. It could be about any other thing. .ng here signifies that okay, this is a website located in Nigeria. That is what .ng means. Ng there is the extension for Nigeria. .net simply signify internet. It's just telling you okay, this is another website in the World Wide Web. .org signifies organization, saying that okay, this is another organization on the World Wide Web. So it's just basically extension giving you a bit other information about the particular domain name you are going to. So there's nothing really much about that. I can decide to create a website that is not about communication, and then the extension is also saying .org. So it doesn't have, the only place it has a bit of an influence is on the search engine optimization. What that means is when people search on your domain name on a web browser, they're able to see your name basically. You don't have to bother yourself about that. So what they are telling us now is qservers.com is already taken. Now let me search for something else. The domain name I searched for before I came here was qservers.ng. So let me click on .ng as the extension and search to see if that's available. So they say the domain name already exists in our database, so cannot be ordered again. So once a domain name is already registered, you cannot register that same domain name again. So if I register a particular domain name, you cannot go and register that same domain name on the World Wide Web. Whether you are hosting with any company whatsoever, that there are several lot of hosting companies existing currently. So I'm going to show us a couple others before we move forward. So let's say I want to search for a particular domain name. Um, let me see. Let me come up with something. Mm, let's say boss dot n. No, let me not say dot ng. Boss dot org, for example, and let me click on search. So they said boss dot org is already taken. Let me see. Let me click on. Let me try and get a domain name that is not already taken. Um, let me type bossup.org. I hope this is not taken. Wow, already taken. Very interesting. So you see, it's not just enough to come up with the domain name. The first thing you have to first find out is the domain name you have and you want to register. Is that domain name available or not? So let me start on. I recently registered the domain name yesterday. Serve.com.ng. So click in. So if I search for saft.com.ng, let's see if that's available. So congratulations, saft.com.ng is available. So once you want to get a domain name and you come to a hosting company and you search for domain name and it's available, all you have to do is proceed to purchase. So if you look at what we have here, they are saying, okay, how long do you want to register this for? A year, 2 years, 3 years, and then this is the amount you can register a domain name for this particular domain. The extension also determines the cost of the domain name because some extensions help your website to be easily seen by people on the World Wide Web, while others may not actually really help that. So if I click on this and I click on .com, for example, let's see if that's available and what price it is. Okay, that's already taken. Let me see .net, next already taken. Interesting. .org. Now this is available. But if you see, the price here is 25,100 for surf.org. But then when we click on surf.com.ng, we see that the price there is actually different. We're having about 6,500. If I'm not mistaken, yes. So the price of the domain name is also affected by the extension that the domain has. Also affected by the extension that the domain has. So now this is on the aspect of domain registration. So once I'm going to show us, we're going to try to buy a domain name. So we've gotten sac.com.ng. So take note, we're going to try to buy this domain name before the end of this class. So now I told you that before you actually purchase your domain name, you can purchase a domain name without having a hosting service, but a domain name needs to be linked to a particular space or a particular hosting service, and that is one thing that is most and very much important. Very, very, very much important. Your hosting service is very, very much important. So let's try to get a hosting service for south.com.ng. So we click on I'm not logged in currently. We click on store. Let's see. I'm going to take us to another. Okay, web hosting, WordPress hosting. No go to web hosting. I want to go to another hosting company, but this one popular hosting company that says here at an affordable price in Nigeria. So, for example, now these are available hosting options that we have. We have the starter pack, the business pack, the developer pack, the professional pack, and all other options that you have. Each of them have their unique features. So let's take a look at two examples between the starters pack and the business pack. So for the starter pack now, we are having 1,815 naira monthly as the charge for this particular service. So if I want to rent a particular space for just 1 month, I'll pay the amount of 1,800. And if I want to get this for a particular for a year, that's annually, I'll pay 18,500. And if you look at starter pack and the business pack, the prices are different. And let's look at the features available. For the starter pack, you have about 6 gig web space. For the business pack, we have about 10 GB web space. Then the bandwidth for both of them is different. The amount of subdomain you can have for both of them, we have 5 here and we have 10 on the other hand. So if you check the other options, you will see that the features they actually offer are different, and each of these features have their own advantage. So let me take us to another domain registry, a domain a hosting company, for example. One popular one again that we have is Namecheap. If you actually go to YouTube a lot, you may have seen the ads. Probably Namecheap or Hostinger, they pop up ads a lot. So this is Namecheap, a domain registration company. So you can buy a domain name here, and you can actually um, register a hosting service here. Okay. So we want to search for a domain name. Now the right time you search for a domain name, let's see, surf dot org. Let me search for surf.org if it's available. I hope it is. But that's how you can easily just when you come to their hosting company, look out for the search bar or the domain search, and then you can search for whether your domain name is available or not. Because the first step, like I said, is getting your domain name and your hosting service. Then we can talk about building your website. So now this is available, and for just $7.48 per year for this particular domain name. And I think on the other website, Q servers, we saw that it was available for around 25, 26,000 naira. So you may do the conversion and see which of them benefits you more. And that's why you have to have many options of hosting companies you can actually get this from. So this is on the aspect of domain registration. If I want to get a hosting here, I just need to click on we have shared hosting, WordPress hosting, reseller hosting, VPS hosting. What the difference between all of these hosting is this. For shared hosting means like I want to buy land, but let's say the piece of land I want to buy, the prices of land here are very much expensive, and land are only sold in a particular size, and what I just need for my website or my office is just a small space. So I don't want to buy the whole big space for a very huge amount of money. So what shared hosting is about is from the word shared hosting. It's like you buying, like maybe 10 people coming together to buy a particular land, and then they will share it between themselves and build their individual office or businesses on it. But in this case, the hosting company would you know take a particular space and share it into 10. So when you want to come and buy, you can buy a particular space of the 10 plots of lands available. So that's what shared hosting is about. WordPress hosting is actually very good for WordPress websites. um it's very good for work because it's very light and easy to use, to load very fast. There's no much difference between shared hosting or cPanel hosting and WordPress hosting. One major difference is that when you have a control panel, there are other features you actually have access to. um a lot of other features. I'm going to talk about that later on, so we are not going there yet. So you can actually get your domain and your hosting from hosting companies. Another hosting company is Hostinger. Let me just search on that, for example. Hostinger. So let's see what it gives us. Web hosting. Now I want to also be sure that you guys can still hear me very well. Can you hear me? Sorry. Emmanuel Namdi Comfrey. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Okay. So now this is another hosting company. No, thank you. Thank you. I think I'll show us how to do something like this where you come to a site and you're seeing the live chat. Very, very easy to integrate. So I don't want to log in. So you can actually come here and search for how you can claim buy domain name or a hosting service. I click on their services. I want to see all the services that they offer. You can see WordPress hosting for WordPress. They offer web hosting, cloud hosting, domain transfer. You can buy domain name, can get it by a business email. We will see some email that carries um, you see some companies that have a particular email. Like take for example, uh, boss. You can send an email to boss.com.ng for example as their web mail. How you can get this web mail, I'm going to show us how you can easily get that. But if you want to get a web mail or a business mail without even having a website, you can easily get it from this particular option here, business mail. Now let's quickly go back to let me just quickly I'll use Q servers and Namecheap for example as quick example for us to like purchase a domain name and hosting service. So which should I even start with? Let me start with Namecheap for example. Let me start with Namecheap. Namecheap. So let me log in. I think I have some domain name registered on this particular account. I have many accounts for Namecheap. So for example, this is how the backend account user. This is my name, Son the Precious. So this is how the backend looks like for domain for hosting company. When you go there, you can just easily create an account with your email, set the password, and then you have access to your account dashboard, and you can easily get a domain name and hosting. For example, now let me scroll down. Okay, yeah, I have some domain names still here. So for example, now this is a domain name I bought. This on that domain name I bought. If I click on them, I can easily visit the website with a hosting service. But now let's try to get a domain name and a hosting. I think I should have one of my domain names expired. Okay, I have another one here. So if I want to search for a domain, I want to search for a new name now. I want to buy a domain name and a hosting. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to search for let's see, we're using SAFT SARFT SAFT.org as our example. SAFT.org. I click on search, it takes us to okay, let's see if that's available. So if you notice we searched on it before and this is what came up. SAFT.org. This is how we search. Whatever I logged in or not, it's still the same thing. So no, all I have to do now, once I have searched for it and they say, okay, yes, it's available. If it's not available, it will not show like this. Let me search for something that's not available. Let's see what it comes up like. So let's say surf.com. Let's see if surf.com is available. Sorry. So you see, surf.com is already taken. That's not available. So let's go to Urge. Let's go to Urge. Enter Urge. So all I have to do now is add this to my cart. So I click on add to cart and add it to my cart. And so once I do that, I'm telling you the easy step to for you to get a domain name. So you want to buy a domain name today. This is the easy step you can take. Go to the particular hosting company by searching for their domain name. So the one we are currently on is namecheap.com. If you look at my search bar here, you see namecheap.com. That is the let me highlight it. Okay, this is the domain name of this particular website. Namecheap. From your name, your Namecheap. If you go search on your browser or using on your phone or your PC, you see don't just search on Namecheap, the hosting company is going to come up. So whether you are building your website with okay, we're going to come to that. So once you search on your domain name and then you add it to cart, they are automatically going to give you options for you to get a web hosting, a business mail, because they know that okay, you want to buy a website, you want to buy a domain name, you will definitely need a web hosting, you will need a business mail and some other services like SSL security for your website. So but you don't have to necessarily buy the same or buy the domain name and the hosting from the same company or at the same time. I can try to buy my domain name from Namecheap and buy my hosting from Q servers or Hostinger, for example. You can buy it from different places and you can connect them together. Well, what I'm going to show you today is how to buy your domain name and hosting from the same company. So if I want to add a hosting service, I just need to click on this web hosting. Could I give me web hosting for $4 per month? Okay, let me see what I have done here. Okay, no, 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 no. Thank you. So, uh, I can try to add this web posting right here by clicking here and it automatically add to cart. So let me go to checkout and see what I have here already. I'm coming. Just a minute. So I wanted to explain what SSL means. I wanted to explain what SSL means. What happened here is after searching for my domain name, as I added it to cart, the automatic name chip automatically added a hosting service for me. Namekeep automatically added the hosting service for me, and that's what we're having. If you check, we're having stellar this stellar if you can see my mouse, I'm hovering on the stellar right here. So that's why I have a subtotal of about $46.48. For me to buy a domain name and hosting right now from Namecheap and start building my website or have my website live on the World Wide Web, I just need to buy my domain name and hosting for $46. Also, approximately $47 actually. So now this is the domain name registration. Okay, no, 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 no. Okay, I have this in my cart already. Reflexglobalproperties.com. Oh, wow. I didn't know I didn't purchase this. So say, let's take for example, wanted to purchase this particular domain name right here that I have in my cart already. Reflex Global Properties Projects.com. Once I've searched for my domain name and I've added it to cart and I click on checkout, it brings me to this page where I can see all the things I'm actually ordering for. I can decide to remove or add any other thing to the cart, and then I can confirm my order here and then check out the payment. Um, if you've made payment online before, if you made payment online before, you see that most of this process is actually quite familiar. So we're actually searching for surf.com, surf.org rather, surf.org. So that's the domain name we are registering. We won't be buying it exactly, but I'm just trying to show you how you can register that domain name. So if you check where my mouse is currently hovering on, you will see domain registration, and you can see saft.org, and it's for 1 year here. If I click on, I can actually say I can edit the number of years I want to register the domain name for. I can register it for 2 years, for 3 years, for 4 years, for 5 years, and even more if I want to. So let's say we're registering the domain name for 1 year, and they are actually giving this to us for $7.48. And domain privacy, this is free. They're giving out domain privacy for free. What that means is you have your information as the person registering the domain name will be secured. So and premium DNS. Okay, if you want some specialized service, you can try to add them here. That's what this premium DNS is for. If I enable it, you will see that the $4.80 showing on this other side will be added to my total. Now this is the automatic hosting service that was incorporated with my domain name. Once I just click on checkout, I can decide to cancel it here on this cancel icon. You can see my mouse. I can decide to just cancel the domain name, the hosting service here, and I'll purchase only the domain name. But normally, Namecheap knows that if you want to buy a domain name, you definitely need a hosting service. So they usually add this for you. You can try to edit it. Let me click on edit so that you see what it looks like. Um, Now this is their stellar hosting, and this is one of their cheapest hosting. The last time I bought, and they are giving this hosting is going for $12 currently, going for $12. You can decide to choose from every other hosting service they have and add it to your cart. You have shared hosting. If I click on shared hosting now, it will take us to, let me go to shared hosting. It will take us to so if you check the stellar that was added to us, this is the stellar option. We have the stellar plus and then the stellar business. This is the stellar that goes for $1.98 per month, and this is the stellar plus and then the stellar business. I can try to click on get started and I'll add it to my cart to check out. So but we are just trying to buy a particular domain name and hosting right now. So we already have this stellar on our domain name registration. So let's go back. So this is our cart. I'm not registering refleaseproperties.com. I was going to buy this domain. I think I didn't later buy it, but I bought from another hosting company. So let me cancel this. I can cancel from here. So I've cancelled item removed successfully. I want to remove let me see. Okay, I have serve.org here and then serve.org stellar. So all I need to do now is click on confirm order. These are other services you can decide to add to your cart. Rank higher in search engines, SSL. SSL is SSL is actually a security service for your website. It's like a padlock that you use to ensure all the gates or the fence parameter you put on your physical office or to prevent that no easy person can easily access your website. There are hackers on the world wide web that will be trying to, hack into your website to do some damage to your site. People like that do exist, especially when your website is for higher functionalities. Take for example, you are building an e-commerce store like Jumia. So people want at some point say, oh, let's see how we can hack into Jumia dashboard, access their account center to steal all their money from Jumia, all the sales they've made, all the orders they've made for today or for a particular period of time. So you don't want that to happen, and that's why the service of SSL actually comes in. So it's a form of security on your website, form of security on your website. So we are not adding SSL or we are not adding VPN, we are not adding DNS or boost social media, we're not adding any of that. So we're going to click on confirm order. So SSL basically stands for secure socket layer. It's usually known as SSL certificate. So if you want to add an extra certificate to your website, but the website will be building by the end of the day, because at the end of the day, most of you are supposed to have ought to build the website. You need to have your website live and very functional. So by the end of the whole training, I'm going to show you how you can actually, put up an SSL certificate on your website if it doesn't have for free. That is an extra form of security. So we are on the aspect of billing. So I can try to use my card, your either Visa or Mastercard for payment, or you can there are other various payment options. You can use PayPal or account fund. Account fund means you can actually add money to your account on this particular hosting company. So if I have $100 in this particular account, all I have to do is click on account fund and they'll deduct the total of my bill from that particular account. So deduct the total of my bill. So the total now for my order is just $12.14 for the hosting company, sorry, for the domain name and the hosting service. So you put in your your information, this the recipient detail, the receipt details rather, and renewal settings. Now, if you are registering this for a particular company or for a client, if you are building a website for a client and buying their domain name, it's not advisable to use your information as the owner's information. So you want to click on add new contact, and they'll give you an option to add these particular details, and this will be the details of the person that owns you know the website you are building. And once you do that, you click on you can actually select your renewal setting for your purchase, whether you want it automatically renew or not. And after that, click on continue. And once I click on continue, I don't let me just read the information now so we can see how it looks like to purchase this. um Use default contact, continue. All right, so once this loads up, you're going to give us option for us to make payment. Now yes, this is where we're supposed to review our order before we click on pay. So I've seen everything we are paying, and this is my card details that's showing here, because I already make payment on the platform before. I've bought several domain and hosting service. So once I click on I've read and agreed to your terms of service and agreement. I click on pay now. So it gives me the option for me to pay for the domain name and everything. And once you pay for it, all you have domain name registration usually take about 24 to 72 hours at most. 24 to 72 hours for your domain name to be completely integrated. What that means is that once you register a domain name immediately, that domain name is not live on the World Wide Web. So if you start with it, it will not come up on the World Wide Web. So you have to give it about 24 to say 48 hours, or in the worst case scenario, 72 hours, that's 3 days for your domain name to be completely live on the World Wide Web. And once that is set, you can go up with building your website or making your website live. If you are building it, on your code editor, you have programmed the website already. You just need to export your files to your control panel and make the website live. So as on my own part, your other instructor is going to be teaching you how to build a website using each of the programming languages you're going to be using, and the styling languages like CSS, Bootstrap, and the rest of them. Structure language like HTML for basic structure. Also, we're teaching you about you how to use JavaScript to integrate functionality to your website, PHP, and some others for the back end of the website. I'm basically going to be teaching you how to build your website without code. So I'm teaching the no code aspect of web development. So you are building a website without any form of programming or code. Very easy. I know you're wondering how possible is that or something like that, but it's very easy and easy to navigate around. So once this loads up, all I have to do is make payment and then I'm done. But I don't have funds on that particular card account, so the order will not be completely processed. So let's go ahead and make this payment on qservers.com. I'm not going to waste our time anymore because I want us to do something quite important before the end of this class. So for Q servers, say I want to buy the same domain name on Q servers. How am I going to go about it? So normally you're supposed to have created an account with Q servers. You just need to come here and manage account. I have to log in. Okay, I'm not ready to really log in right now. But then you can actually log in here or register your new account here. I don't want to log into the website right now, but you can log in here and register your account rather on this particular hosting company to get access to having your own personal account dashboard where you can manage all your domain name and hosting service you will have with the particular company. So let me see. Can I let me try and make payment without logging in and see. So let me go to their home. So let's search for our domain name that we want to register. So we're using okay, serve. Let me use serve.org. This should be available because we search for it. I'm not a robot. I'm not a robot. So all right, no, not the com, the org. Okay, for the last time before we come wrap this up, I want to know if you guys can still hear me. Please, I need to know if you're hearing me, if you're following me.
I hear you.
All right, thank you very much for that. So now serve.org, let's search for that if it's available. Now this is available, serve.org is available, and this is the price for it in 5,100. We're seeing about 7 point something dollars on Namecheap. So continue. Let's continue with this. Now they are showing us that no hosting. Click to add. If you can see my screen, please let me know if at any point you're not seeing my screen. Just let me know. So they are saying no hosting. Click to add hosting because then normally you're supposed to have an hosting when you're registering a particular domain name. So now let me add hosting to this domain name. So I search for it first. I click on continue and click on add hosting. So this was the hosting service I showed us initially that they do offer. Let's add the starter pack, for example, 18,500 annually. Let me order for that. Let's see what it gives us. Okay, yeah. So use a domain, yes, serve.org. That's what we're going to use. Continue. So once I click on the order, order pack, bring me to this page, and I just need to click continue. So this is the process to just buying your domain name. So once I click continue, it brings me this other option. I just need to scroll down to choose my billing cycle. Do I want to be paying for this hosting service monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually, or biannually, or as the case may be? So I will choose annually for a year, for example, and continue. So my total amount here is 19,800 for my hosting service. All right, so now it has hosting. It's not showing me does not have hosting. So this is the domain name serve.org for 1 year, and it has hosting. So I'll click on okay. They are giving me the DNS management and this for free. So just click on continue basically. Continue, and this is our order details. Um, yes, these are order details. What I have to do right now is fill this information, and once I'm done, I can actually once I'm done with this, when I fill this information, I can actually uh, pay for this. So I'm an existing customer, so I don't necessarily need to fill it. I'll just click on existing customer. Okay, I need to log in. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right. So I don't want to go to the choice of two-factor authentication. That's why I'm not logging in from the. But in our next class, I'm going to show us how we can, if we need to, we're going to log into the back end of this aspect. So once you have bought, you've gotten your domain name. What's the next step of action? What do you need to do to build your website now without code? I'll just give us a snippet of what we need to do, and then I will take it questions for all the things I've been blabbing about today. So we started with me showing you a particular website. So once you let me log into another account. Ah, let me see. Let me log into another account. Let me log into a particular account and see what I have there. So just a minute. Two-factor authentication. All right, login. All right, on this particular account, I have just one service and one particular domain. Let me click on my service. I bought this domain just yesterday, so let me see if it's completely um configured. Okay, no, not this. Go back. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so let me see if my cPanel is already completely configured. All right, so on this aspect now, my domain name, I bought this domain name yesterday. You know, yesterday said this was this morning. It was April 1st. That's when I bought this domain name, for example. The domain name is just saf.com.ng. Bought the domain name and the hosting service. So once I pay for it, I just have to wait for it to be completely configured. So once it is configured, I'll receive an email, and once I receive that mail, I'll come into the account center here, my account dashboard, click on log into cPanel. Once I click on this, it takes me to this particular um sorry, just a minute. Let me click on it now so it takes me there. I click on this, it takes me here. So it takes me here. Can you see my screen? Sorry. Okay, so almost 10 p.m. Let me know if you can see my screen, please.
Yeah.
All right, so it takes me to this place. cPanel majorly stands for control panel. So that's where you can control everything about your site. So you want to add your files, you can create email accounts, forwarders. I'm going to explain what all of this means as time goes on, and how you can integrate this building sites for different clients, both foreign or local clients. So if you are using code, for example, one of the places you're going to put in your files is on in your file manager, where my mouse is moving right now. You click on here, you have database there where you're going to put in some put in your database, PHP or whatever database, and then once you put in your files, you're going to be live. But that's not what we're doing today. We're talking about installing WordPress, using building a website with WordPress, which is known as a content management system. What that means is that you are building websites without using code. So there are different platforms you can use to build website without the use of code. It's not just WordPress. There are you have WordPress as one of them. We have Wix as one of them. We have several others. I can't really place my hand around them right now. But one of the most popular software is WordPress. And about last time I checked, statistics showed about 40 to 46% of websites live and hosted were built and hosted on WordPress. So it's one of the most popular tools used to build websites. So let me just install WordPress on this, and then from next class we're going to start from where we stop. So after installing WordPress, the next thing to do is to start putting our images and text together, and in matter of hours, our website is completely live. Like I said, the website I showed us, all I had to do was I built that website in less than about in less than a day. I started that website this morning. I had to leave it because I had a couple of other things to attend to. So, and I'm almost done with the website, for example. So to install WordPress quickly, uh, to install WordPress, this is what it's going to show us. If you see what I click on, let me go back. I clicked on. So I didn't show you that. I clicked on. Once you come to your control panel, this is your control panel. So on the left side of the screen, I click on WordPress Manager by Softaculous. You can also search for that when you scroll down. If you are not seeing this left bar, let me go down. This is it here, Softaculous app installer. So let me click on this one. Um, Softaculous app installer. So it's the same thing. So it brings me here, and I have WordPress. These are other softwares you can use to build some websites. So I'll click on install, and it brings me to the same place that I was before. So all I have to do now is to put in my information. Let me quickly do that. I will not want to do that because this is quite confidential. So, but this is the back end aspect of your control panel and what it looks like. This way you control everything. So once I fill in this information, the site name, the description, the admin username and password, and then the admin email, and then I will just scroll down and click on install. Once it is completely, once it is done installing, it takes me it will display. I'm going to show you this in the next class. We're going to install WordPress in the next class. So but let me show you what the back end of WordPress looks like. So once you have the installation is complete, it will give you a URL where you can log into the admin dashboard. You can log into the back end where you can build your site. So lastly, I'm going to the site I started with. um this particular website, for example, that I started building today. You can actually search it yourself to see what it looks like. So wikidi.com.ng. So we have the home, the about page, the services page, the project, and then the contact us and every other thing. So for me to go into the back end now, which is the WordPress dashboard of this site, um, I'll just put on slash WP the hyphen now and add admin. I hope you can see what I just typed in my search bar. I put in slash WP hyphen admin. If I click on enter, it takes me here. Okay, sorry, just a minute. I think I this was on caps lock. WP admin. Alright. If I click on enter, it takes me to this particular back end. Once you go on any website that is built with WordPress, if you take the domain name and you put slash wp hyphen admin, it takes you directly to the back end of the WordPress. So the logo you can see here is WordPress, and then this is where you put in your login details. So I'm going to log in right now, log in, and this is the back. This is what the back end of the website look like. So everything you see there, I control everything here. The pages, the form details that's going to be sent. Whether it's an e-commerce website you're building, like Jumia with WordPress, or you're building complex websites, e-commerce store, or a company website like this, you can easily build a WordPress. And it will not it will take less than a day to completely build a website with WordPress. Less than a day to completely build a powerful website like this WordPress. So so for example, let me just show you something. This is the WordPress dashboard. In next time, I'm going to explain what all of these things mean and how you can easily use it to build your website. I click on, if you can see my mouse, I'm hovering on something. One of the icon here is saying pages. Click on all pages. It's going to take me to, I just want to show us that this is the back end of the website. So all the pages you're seeing on the front end of the website, to home, about us, project, this is where you can actually see each of those pages. The home, about us, both the ones that are visible on the home page or not. These are all the pages on the website, and I can easily delete, add, edit any of the pages from the back end, and then it's reflected on the front end aspect. So basically, this is website design. For you to have your website live, you just need to get a domain name and a hosting. So whether you're using code or not, you need to buy a domain name and a hosting to actually have your website live on the World Wide Web. And using WordPress to build websites, you need to have a domain name and a hosting. So once your domain name, like I said, is completely registered, you go to your cPanel, click on WordPress by Softaculous app installer, put in your necessary details, click on install one, boom, WordPress is installed on your website, and then it brings you to this dashboard. And once you are here, the work is 50% done. You are almost, done with building your website. Trust me. So in the next class, I'm going to show us how easy it is to build website like this. And in subsequent classes, I'm going to show us how to add some powerful functionalities on some website, like how you can create an e-commerce store and people can place orders on those websites, and you can see the order, you can see the money, you can see the information on the website. You can have a live chat on a particular website, how each of these functionalities work on the website, and very, very, quite very simple. And by the end of the class, you're going to be a full-time trained website developer. So at this point in time, I want to entertain any form of questions on all the things I've been saying so far. Is any part you don't understand or that seems very much complex? I will be more than happy to break it down for you right now. So this is the point where you unmute your mic and say something. So I want to hear from you. Okay, Edith, please you can unmute your mic and speak.
Yes, good evening. Thank you so much for the lesson. My
Thank you.
I, I was hoping you could run back how we can link our website to WordPress. I did that part. After,
Oh, so can you repeat the question? I didn't exactly get your question.
okay, I wanted you to like run back on how we link our registered domain name and hosting sites to WordPress. I didn't quite get that.
All right. Okay, now let me go back. Now let me go back to our hosting account where before we came to WordPress. So can you see my screen edit?
Yes,
So is it pronounced edit or edit?
edits. My name is
Edit, all
in
right. Okay,
some.
Ini. All right. I believe you can see my screen. You can see qservers serve.com.ng, right?
Yes.
So I said to link your hosting and domain name once purchased already to WordPress. Once you come to your account center, because for you to buy a domain name, you have to have you have to first of all create an account with the particular hosting company, just with your email address, and then you have a password. So once you come there, you will click on that particular domain name or hosting that you registered. So for example, when I came here, I click on serve.com.ng, right? Can you hear me, Ini?
Yes, I can.
All right, I want you to follow me. Don't worry, you don't have to mute your mic. So I want you to just follow me right now. So once I come to serve.com.ng, I click on login to cPanel. If you can see my mouse right here, I
Okay.
click on login to cPanel. Once I click on that, right, I'm not sharing my entire window. I'm only sharing this tab. So once I click on login to cPanel, now let me show you where it takes me to. It takes me to this place. You can see now it's loading. Can you see
Yes.
my screen now?
Yes. Yes.
So it's only cPanel on this aspect. So the major thing that connects your domain name and your hosting to WordPress is your control panel, your cPanel, right?
All right. Yes.
Yes. So once you come to cPanel, um, there are easy ways to go around this. On my screen right now, the easiest way to just install WordPress is to click on WordPress Manager by Softaculous on the left bottom side of my screen. If you can see it.
Yes.
All right. So once I click on that, it takes me to um, it takes me here. I click on install. You can see WordPress management. I click on install. When I click on install, it takes me to this particular place, right?
Yes.
All right. So this is what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to fill in this information right now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm going to fill in this information right now. So I believe I want everyone to follow. I want to fill in this information. I'm going to take it. I'm going to stop sharing this tab when I want to put in the admin password and username for security reasons. So and I'm going to click on install so we can actually install this WordPress right now on this particular domain name. I have not installed WordPress on this domain name. So let me go to a different tab. For example, if I come back here and I search for sarf.com.ng, this is the domain name we're actually installing WordPress on. So it tells us that sites can't be reached because why? There's nothing really natively to show there. There's nothing available on that particular domain. So
Yes.
now let me install WordPress. Just so the first thing we're seeing here is software setup. So the first thing here is this particular column. You click on it, it's going to give you a lot of options. Anytime you're installing WordPress, ensure that HTTPS stands for hypertext. Sorry, not hypertext. Now I'm calling HTML. Sorry. Um, just a minute. So once you click on it, ensure that whenever you actually want to, whenever you want to install WordPress, you have this fixed on HTTPS. The S there stands for secured, and you ensure that your domain name is actually having an SSL certificate. Basically, as I talked about security before, so HTTPS stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. So the one that's not this particular HTTP that doesn't have an S is telling you that it's not secured. So if they try to visit your website and it's having only HTTP, a normal browser will tell the user that this website is not actually really secured. You get what I'm trying to say, right? Are you there, Ini?
Yes.
All right. So I click on HTTPS, and this is domain name I'm registering. I will remove this directory WP. Always ensure you remove this because it's not exactly needed. So you can see what I
Let
removed
me.
just now, right?
Sorry, I can't see what you're doing. Your screen is
Okay,
just.
okay. Sorry. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
All right. So this is the HTTPS aspect. I said you have to ensure that it's always on HTTPS, not HTTP. There's a
Yeah.
difference between them. So you ensure that this is the domain name you are registering, and this directory. When you want to install WordPress, you always have WP in the directory. Ensure to always remove it because it's not needed. It only it's not needed in the domain name. You don't want to have serve.com.ng, slash WP. So this is the version of WordPress we're installing. That's automatically the latest version. So what is my site name? Let me put in my site name. So this is my site name. Description, I can change the description later on the WordPress dashboard. So I'll just say my new website, for example. My new, sorry. You can add any description. If you welcome e-commerce store, you can say, okay, an e-commerce store involved in fashion or whatever you're doing. Just a short description about your website. So once I do that, I'm going to add my admin email. Okay, let me put my email. I'll use my email as the admin email, and the language already selected. So now I'm going to quickly put in my admin details, and I'm going to stop sharing the screen right now. So just a minute. Sorry, I quickly stopped sharing. All right, you're with me, right?
Yes.
All right, that's good. So let me put in password. Okay, now let me go back to my screen. So this is, if you can see, we are back to where we're filling our information, right? Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
All right, so we have the admin username, we have the admin password, and we have the admin email. So once you fill that, I come down here. These are just what you are seeing right on the left side here are just additional. I'm going to explain what these are. They're known as some of them are known as plugin and themes. I'm going to explain what these are in the next class. So I'm just going to edit some of them because I don't exactly need them. I don't exactly need them. But let me leave them for now. So I click on install. So once I click on install, it takes me here. Okay, so using my Wordpress, opening everything. Okay. There was already a file, the WordPress particular folder. So I just click on select the checkbox to overwrite all files and continue. So I select it, sorry, and I come down here, continue. So currently installing. So if I want to actually erase all the data of my particular website, the one I've built already, there are two ways I can do that. I can log into my WordPress dashboard, delete all the pages and everything, and then it's going to be a blank website. And I can decide to actually delete my WordPress installation. I can delete my WordPress installation and install a new WordPress again if I want to. That's where we are having some certain form of challenges. So now if you can see my screen, you can see congratulations, the software was installed successfully. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So now they say WordPress has successfully installed at this domain. So they have the administrative URL. If you look at the administrative URL, you see https staff.com.ng/wp admin, like I showed you before. So if I click on it, let me share the tab. Um, it's going to take me to my WordPress dashboard. Okay, no, I don't want to. This is a particular AI assistant to help you easily on board. I don't set up, So this is my this dashboard of WordPress I showed you before for oegd.com.ng. So we are back here. Let me take you there so that you see what I'm trying to say. So now WordPress is already installed on this website. So before we click search on, let me spell it out to you. We click on this particular domain name, and it was telling us that this site can't be reached. So let's see if we can reach the particular site right now. Just a minute. So this is what we have right now on our website. Just blog hello world, welcome to WordPress. This is your first post. So this is the first step to getting your website. Like so by anybody search on this particular domain name, serve.com.ng, this is what's gonna come up. So that's how to actually link your web your domain name and hosting to WordPress. That's very simple. Once you have got the domain name, go to your cPanel, install WordPress, then you have WordPress on your site. So any other question?
So sorry again. So is this like after 3 days for domain name to go live, or we can do this before it even goes live?
Okay, now this particular you cannot install WordPress until the domain name is actually live, right? So when I said 2 to 3 days, sometimes depending on the hosting company, sometimes there could be a bit of a lag in domain name registration. That's the only thing that causes that delay. I bought this domain name around 12 a.m. this morning, and it was already live. I did not even check. I was been quite busy today, so I was working on a particular project. So it was already live. So I just checked the domain name right now, and I can see that it's already live, and I can install WordPress. So you can see it's not up to 24 hours, and the domain name is live already. So normally it doesn't take up to 24 hours for the domain to like. It could just be a couple of hours, 1 hour, 2 hours, or even less than an hour. It actually vary, but at most it takes 24 to 48 hours for it to be live. And until it is live, you cannot actually install WordPress on your site. So once it's live, you can install WordPress and start building your website.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes. So any other question?
Okay, I wanted to ask.
Okay.
I think this is like a preamble.
Yes.
Um, are we more focused on the WordPress? Are we going to do some coding?
Yes, yes, definitely. Like I said before, I'm just one of your instructor. You have another instructor who's going to put you through the coding aspect of website design. So what I showed you today was just about getting a domain name, because whether you are using WordPress or you're coding, you need to have a domain name or hosting for your website to be live on the World Wide Web. So online instructor is going to put you through the aspect of coding. They're going to teach you all the programming languages and how you can easily, write your codes to actually put up all the functionality you're going to see on your website. So I'm teaching you the aspect of coding and the aspect of no coding. So I'm taking you the aspect of no coding, which has to do with WordPress, for example.
All right, thank you.
Yes. So any other question? Um, Chooks, any questions from you? All right. I guess there's no other question. For today, I'm not going to ask questions, right? Probably as we progress. I love to ask questions too. So you can actually do a little bit of research on, you know, uses of WordPress and example of sites that have been built with WordPress. You will see that there are a lot of other sites and powerful websites online that are hosted and built with WordPress. And WordPress is one powerful tool you can use to build website in no time. One of the things they beat to the programming and the rest of them is the fact that you can actually build in a short period of time. But programming gives you a lot of more advantage in terms of flexibility and some kind of functionality that you want to integrate into your website and your web application. So each of them has their advantages, their pros and their cons, right? And I'm going to show you each of every part of this and how you can use them. So when you have those projects, you can decide, okay, am I going to build this with WordPress or I'm going to code for this particular website? I believe as we progress, we're going to do a lot of you know great projects together. And thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate. I would be seeing you in our next class. This class was supposed to end by 10 p.m., but it was extended by extra 21 minutes, and that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So thank you so much for your time. Um, at this point, you have come to the end of today's uh, class on website design. So basically, I just showed you in summary how to get your domain name and hosting for your website, and an easy step to actually install WordPress on your site. So in your next class, we're going to progress to how you can start, building, creating each of the individual pages you have on your website, and how to put the whole content together in a very, very simple and common way. Thank you so much. Like I said before, my name is Sonny Precious, and I'm a web developer, and I'll be seeing you guys in your next class. Thank you very much.
Thank you.